Being poor is expensive. The less you have, the more you pay. And over time, that is how people slowly get pulled into debt. Hi, my name is Becky, and welcome to the channel where we talk about money, life choices, and what it actually takes to build financial stability and wealth in the real world. This is the fourth video in our Money Reality series that people rarely talk about. In the previous video, we talked about why raises rarely change your life and how simply earning more doesn't automatically move you forward. And if you haven't seen that one yet, I highly recommend watching it after this video because it explains why so many of us feel stuck even when our income increases. But today we are going one step deeper because for a lot of us, the problem is not just that money disappears, it's that life itself becomes more expensive when you have less of it. So, what does this look like in real life? It's actually very simple. When you don't have a lot of money, you're almost always forced into the worst pricing. Take something basic, groceries. If you have money, you buy in bulk, bigger packs, lower price per unit or per ounce, which is a better deal. But if you don't, you are forced to take the smaller option because that's what fits your budget today. And yes, it's cheaper at that moment, but it's the most expensive price per unit or per ounce. So every time you buy it, you are paying more for the exact same thing. Not once, but every single time. And then something breaks. Your car, or let's say your washing machine, something you need, especially when there are many kids. They fill up those loads like nothing. And if you have money, you can choose quality, a machine that will last for years and you don't have to replace quickly. But if you don't, you go for the cheapest option. Again, because it's all you can afford now. And in that moment, it is cheaper, but it breaks faster. It wears out quicker. You'll have to replace it sooner. And these are just two examples, but it shows up everywhere. Clothing, shoes, the car you drive. And after a while, it starts to feel like every situation pushes you into the option that ends up costing more because you don't have the space to choose differently. And then comes the point where things really start to spiral. Because up until now, it's just been a bit more expensive. But the moment you don't have a buffer, you don't just pay more for things, you start relying on money you don't actually have. And it usually doesn't start with big loans, it starts with a credit card. Something you tell yourself you'll pay back quickly, just to get through the month, just to fix this one situation. And at first, it feels manageable. It solves the problem in that moment, but the problem doesn't just vanish, it moves forward. Because now you still have all your normal expenses, and on top of that, you have a balance to pay off. With interest, and not small interest. So what do? You try to keep up. You pay part of it, push the rest forward, and then something else happens. Another bill, another expense, another situation. And again, there is no buffer. So the credit card gets used again. But the previous amount wasn't paid off yet. And this is where it starts to build, slowly but surely, not because of one big event, but small ones over and over again, until at some point it's no longer a bit to cover this month. It is a real amount now, something that doesn't go away anymore. And that's usually the moment when most people look for a bigger solution. A loan. Something that will clear everything, to reset, to get some breathing room. But again, you're not solving the problem. You're restructuring it over a longer period of time with more cost. And this is how it escalates from small gaps to ongoing debt, to long-term payments that keep following you. And not because you made one bad decision, but because you didn't have the space to stop all of this early in its tracks. We've now come to the part that people don't always see from the outside. Getting into this situation is one thing, but getting out of it is a completely different story. Because once you're in it, everything starts working against you. You still have your normal life, rent, food, bills, nothing stops. But now on top of that, you also have debt, different payments, interest, money leaving your account every single month. So now part of your income is already gone before you even start. So even if you try to do better, even if you try to save, even if you try to catch up, there is less left to work with. And that's when it becomes exhausting, because you're not moving forward anymore. You're trying to keep up every month again. And if something happens, even something small, you are right back where you started, because there is still no buffer, no margin, no room to recover. And over time, this starts affecting more than just your money. It affects your decisions. You stop thinking long term. You focus on just getting through the week, the month, next payment. And that makes it even harder to get out, because the only way out requires space, time, and consistency. And those are exactly the things you don't have in that moment. And that's why this becomes a cycle. Not because people don't try hard enough, but because the situation itself makes it incredibly difficult to break. It is a system that slowly pulls you in. And in the next video, we're going to go even deeper into that. Because getting into the situation is one thing, but getting out of it, it often takes a lot longer than people expect. And once you understand why, things start to make a lot more sense. So if you want to find out what it takes, make sure you watch the next and last video in this series. And if you enjoy these kinds of honest conversations about money and life, feel free to subscribe, give us a big thumbs up, and I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.